How did Frank get it?
I don't know. I mean, the last time I saw that picture, it was in my dresser drawer, and now the police have it.
Good.
Wait, why is that good? I mean, then the judge knows that we were together and we liked each other, we're supposed to hate each other.
And time to explain the intricacies of this, all right? Just be careful what you say and check with me first.
Judge wants everybody back.
Yes, of course he does. Go ahead and remember what I said.
Approach the bench, counselor, and bring your clients with you.
Yes, thank you for the recess, Your Honor. I'm now ready to continue.
Well, I have some questions first, counselor. Mrs. Thorpe, where were you on July 29th, 1996?
I'm not very good with dates, I'm sorry.
May I refresh your memory? I have here a photograph, unquestionably, of you two, wouldn't you say? And look at this date. July 29th, 1996.
Your Honor, with all due respect, where did you get that photograph?
This photograph, along with an accompanying note, was delivered for Officer Cooper to the bailiff of this court. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
All right.
And what does the note say?
Hart Jessup and Dinah Thorpe have been lying to you all along. They made Roger Thorpe believe he shot his son. They tried to make him think he was crazy. They stole his money from the Cayman Islands. And they've been having an affair all along. This photo is proof that they were in collusion against him. But if you need more evidence, go out to the Jessup farm right now and see us for yourself. Well, can you give me one reason why I shouldn't have you two bound over for trial on charges of fraud and conspiracy?
Of course I want to save my marriage, Phillip, more than anything.
Well, then save it. Do it.
How? Okay, how? How do I compete with Reva Shane? I mean, she's his golden past. How do I compete with memories? Especially if she's this sexy, confident, radiant, brilliant, joke-spinning, risk-taking, spitfire cutie pie. All she has to do, Phillip, is walk into a room and men shut up. You know why? Because all their mouths are slightly agape.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to comment on the cutie pie, but the rest of it is not nearly as true as you think it is.
Then you don't know her very well.
I know Reva pretty well, Annie, and the Reva that I know is just as neurotic as anybody else. She is a risk taker, you're right. But you know what? Half the time, she leaps before she looks, and she ends up very sorry where she lands.
I know how that feels.
You know, the funniest thing about all this is that I guarantee you, if Reva were here right now and she could listen to what you're saying about her, she would be on the floor laughing because she would like to be more like you.
Reva Shane does not want to be more like me.
Listen, don't you understand what you've done? You have created this Reva Shane in your mind that is completely invincible. And there's no way that you're going to be able to beat her. You know why? Because you can't beat something that exists only in your mind. You're whipped before you even start.
Why are you doing this?
Because I like you. And because you tried to help me save my marriage.
Phillip, all
Didn't work, but, you know, it doesn't mean that it can't work out for you. I got an idea. How about I go get some ice, and we break into the minibar, and we have a good, stiff soda. What do you say?
Okay, sounds
Okay?
good. Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
So you're telling me that Annie is the only person besides yourself, of course, who has this personal code in this entire hospital.
That's true.
There are not dozens of people in this hospital that could have access to this code at any given time.
That's not the case.
Rick, I think the question that you really have to be asking yourself is, why is it that anytime something happens here that can't be explained, especially if it involves drugs or now your prescription pad, you try to pin it on Annie?
That is not true.
That is absolutely true. It's like you're trying to punish her or something.
I don't have a personal vendetta against Annie.
I don't care what you call it. Maybe you got something you got to settle, a score to settle, but the fact is you are after her.
Keep your voice down. Now, we got to stop playing games here. I've got to decide whether or not to file charges against your wife for what she's done.
Rick, I can't believe you would take it that far. What are you talking about?
Across the line, Josh. Your wife.
If you file charges against Annie, you will destroy her reputation as a nurse.
A reputation won't mean squat if she's dead. If she dies, you're gonna have to live with that. Because you wouldn't listen to a man who's been in your shoes. Now, I know what Annie's disease can do to her and make her do.
You are living in the past, Dr. Bauer. And until you're ready to come into the here and now, I suggest you stay the hell out of our lives.
Thank you, Officer Cooper. I remember the day Mr. Thorpe came charging into my chambers shouting about the existence of just such a photo. When he showed it to me, it turned out to be one of his grandson. No wonder you were surprised, Mr. Thorpe. There really was such a photo. Is this the picture you thought you were bringing me?
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Well, apparently someone switched pictures on him. Would either of you two know anything about that?
You don't have to answer that.
Mr. Thorpe, I'm beginning to think you weren't as crazy as I was led to believe. Perhaps your accusations were real. This picture certainly is.
Your Honor, not only was this supposed evidence obtained illegally, but the validity of the photograph is yet to be established.
I'm sure it can be authenticated.
Yes, perhaps, but the question before this hearing remains the same.
The sanity of Roger Thorpe and two noted psychologists have strongly recommended additional institutionalization. Now, may I remind this court, this is the man who recently attacked 4 people. Dr. Simon, Bridget Reardon, his own wife, and then his own son. Your Honor, I am begging you not to be swayed by the admitted mistakes of these 2 foolish young people. Roger Thorpe is not mentally healthy. And if you let this man walk out of here, Your Honor, every person in this courtroom is in serious jeopardy.
Is that Laura's ring? Are you two engaged?
Look, Buzz, I know I'm not exactly Reva's biggest fan. And I don't really like agreeing with her on anything.
Oh, spit it out.
Well, don't you think maybe, just maybe, you let your pride get in the way here? And you're looking at this whole Reva thing bass-ackwards?
Bass-ackwards? Did you actually say bass-ackwards?
Yes, I did. I heard Reva say it once, and it kind of fits the situation. But your daughter-in-law should not be the one to remind you how miserable you were before Reva came into your life.
Who should be the person that should be reminding me?
I'm gonna go dump this.